Welcome to TechLux. Please support our channel by leaving a thumbs up and subscribing. Sony came swinging last January in the EV market as they have released their new concept car in Tokyo. What is an electronic device manufacturer like Sony doing in the electronic vehicle market? Well, they said so themselves, that the cars are getting techier, so why not build their own cars using their own technology? Originally, Sony was only going to use the concept car as a testbed of their own. They wanted to see if it would work well on the road. But they soon realized that making the car entirely would be a better idea since the tests went really well. The Consumer Electronics Show is an event mainly showcasing game systems and home devices. It isn't usually for companies to show off EVs or electronic vehicles. So when Sony arrived with a car to showcase, people were baffled. Most companies even only introduced robotic dogs that can dance and bark, while Sony was already showing off with electronic cars. When Sony introduced their cars in CES, other participating companies also showcased their cars with expensive technology. Mercedes-Benz revealed a car inspired by the James Cameron movie Avatar, where the car can literally drive sideways. Lamborghini introduced the Huracan, which was loaded with technology as well as newly developed V10 engine. There was also a part of the show where two flying taxis were introduced. However, the concept of flying taxis has been a bias from the past since Walter Waterman revealed this concept way back in 1934. Another fun fact from CES in 2020 were concept cars named M Vision S that was developed by Hyundai. It was a self-driving car that would drive people to their destination hassle-free, whether to their hotels, to their airports, or to work. Surprisingly, another version of the Vision S was made by Sony, who, at that time, didn't have any history of motor vehicle design and construction. If you have played the video game titled Gran Turismo, then it's like the cars featured there were all brought back to life. The Vision S utilizes a lot of screens to give out different information to the driver. The full-size touchscreen makes it feel like plugging a game console into the car and then driving like you are inside a video game. Sony proudly installed 3 touchscreens into the dashboard in order to show off how advanced their car is, unlike Ford's Mach-E's where they only have 1 or 2 at most. Like most infotainment systems in the car industry, the screens can be used to make phone calls, access emails, watch movies, or even listen to the radio for some good old-fashioned music. You can also modify the arrangements of the car seats through the touchscreens. Since driving requires a lot of focus and attention, the driver can use the car's touchpad to access all the car controls hassle-free. The car passengers are also in for a treat, as Sony included a built-in screen for each passenger that has access to the car's entertainment features so they may enjoy and have fun while traveling. Sony built in an intensive speaker system that supposedly allows each passenger on each seat to choose their desired music. The rear view mirror is not just a simple mirror like traditional cars, but are screen monitors that is directly hooked up to the rear view camera. All these features and technologies mentioned in the Vision S from Sony are quickly becoming the standard of all modern electric cars. Unlike the Tesla Model S that can reach 60 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds, and the Tesla Roadster that can easily reach a top speed of 220 miles per hour, the Sony Vision S with its 200 kilowatt-hour motor engine can only do 60 miles per hour in 4.5 seconds and has a top speed of 149 miles per hour. Though its performance is still far from the Model S and the Roadster, the Vision S performance is pretty good for any entry-level performance car. But since we're talking about Tesla cars, it could actually compete with Tesla's entry cars like the Model 3s. Depending on the variant, the Model 3 can go up to 60 miles per hour in 3.5 to 5 seconds, and the top speed is reported to be 162 miles per hour. But the Model S isn't really after speed performance as of the moment. Its main focus is the technology that the car came with. The stats of the motors and the range were not even developed by Sony since it was outsourced to Magna Steyr, and it wasn't one of the information provided early in the production. It was quite a difficult sell for Sony with their Vision S compared to the Tesla Model 3 due to having a price range of $40,000 to $60,000. Remember when we talked about rear view screens? Well, those screens need cameras and the Vision S has 10 cameras surrounding the car. Additionally, the car has sensors, including radar and LiDAR, to assist with activities such as parking and reversing. With Sony getting into the car manufacturing business was a surprise for almost everyone. But developing and manufacturing sensors wasn't. Sony invested in a company that specializes in sensor development named ZMP in 2014. After its success, they invested $5.4 billion in 2018 for autonomous car sensor technology research. This $5.4 billion investment is why Sony Vision S has amazing sensors installed in the car and aims to be, one day, fully autonomous in driving in Tokyo, Japan. Showcasing a car in a mostly static consumer electronics show like the CES was quite a hurdle to overcome. But the sensor array, as well as a technologically filled interior, was enough to grab a lot of attention. Sony claims that the sensors can see 1,000 times better than the regular human eye. They believe that this will be one of the most major reasons why autonomous driving will be the future of transportation in Tokyo due to how good the sensors are. The reality that Sony will be a car manufacturer is actually becoming a real thing. The company has no plans to selling the patent of the Vision S, nor has Magna Steyr. Instead, the car remains as a test bed for the sensor array system. Why did Sony go through all the hassle of building a car if they are not going to sell it? It is because the Tesla has a huge market share in the electric car company business that Fisker, another car company, tried to break into the electric car market, drowned financially in delays for their batteries. Since they were new in the market, Fisker is still not giving up though, since they are hoping their reformed car, the Ocean SUV, will do better this time around. Startups are not the only ones having problems in the automotive world. In 2008 through 2010, a financial recession hampered the entire American automotive industry. The result is the end of many iconic car models such as the Saturn, Plymouth, and Mercury. Due to this, entering the car market can either be a huge opportunity or a huge loss, with little return on investment. This would also put Sony in a tight spot regarding partners. By Sony building their own car instead of installing their technology in other cars, they have the ability to control all the factors and they don't have to adjust to any other car company's needs. Most car manufacturers who have depended on internal combustion engines for decades are now scrambling to develop an electric motor for their electric cars. In order for these manufacturers to catch up with technologically advanced ones, they have to invest in technological companies. For example, Ford is already investing in a startup company called Rivian in order to catch up with the tech giant Tesla. Likewise, GM invested heavily in a tech company called ROADSTER to achieve the same thing. These companies receiving investments are developing techie products like electric skateboards, electric motors, and self-driving technology. With Sony, however, they are not a startup company and they are one of the top dogs in the consumer electronic world. Sony is hoping that this $5.4 billion investment in the sensor array system will give them billions of dollars in returns in the future. But in order to do that, Sony needs a functioning car, not just a shiny silver box that looks like a car. The hype around self-driving cars is generating a lot of interest among the various car manufacturers. As of March of 2019, $80 billion have been spent testing and developing self-driving cars. These numbers were based on a Brookings Institution report that was calculated between 2014 till 2019, so these companies could have actually spent even more by now. All of that money, and yet self-driving cars are subpar and don't even work most of the time, since they still need human input to avoid an accident on the road. To put it lightly, we are not closer to a fully self-driving car yet as we're to a flying car back when Waterman unveiled the flying car in 1934. Volkswagen said that an autonomous car future, as it stands now, requires latest generation computing technology that needs constantly update high-definition maps and perfect conditions. On top of that, the power drain from all the computations to achieve autonomous driving cancels out the efficiency benefits. If Sony will become the company that can figure out autonomous driving that doesn't get interrupted by imperfect road conditions or can read local signs written by local individuals on the road, they will stand to be the only company to finally make a breakthrough of autonomous driving cars, and that could mean billions of dollars for Sony in revenue. Buying a Vision S isn't possible just yet, but you may be able to buy a car with Vision S technology soon. If given the chance, would you buy a Sony Vision S soon? Let us know in the comments section down below. And please do hit the big red subscribe button for more awesome video content in the future. Thanks for watching.